Hello everyone and welcome back to my stock channel. Another update on XELA Technologies. One of our commenters mentioned the fact that they got another $50 million in financing or an investor for $50 million. So it looks like I guess they could drag this out another month. So we'll give them a 2-month runway to raise their prices. I don't know why they just didn't go out and raise their prices. They found another investor. I wish they'd quit dragging this out. 3.5 cents. I don't know. We're going to do some math. We're going to find out how much they charge for their units. I think I'm going to have to call this company and pretend I'm a vendor. And let's find out some math. Let's find out what the other ones cost. I just want to do some quick math and find out what position they're actually in, how uncompetitive they are. So we're going to do another video on this one shortly. I just wanted to update on everybody. It looks like they've had another breath of life, maybe another month or two, maybe 3 months for them to get their act together. I also wanted to note one other thing on their income statement. It's something I think I noticed earlier. September of 2021, they didn't really do notably more money than they did all these other quarters. But look how small the loss was. 13 million for the quarter. All these other losses are 70 million, 56 million, 79 million, 85 million. I mean, they were all over it right here. What did they do right here? They were charging the, well, what did they all of a sudden decide to charge less money? Or is this when inflation took over and their costs started going up? Maybe that's what happened. I'd like to look, well, let's look at the year before and see what their average loss was. 2021. Yeah, they were peeling off 40 something, $35 million a quarter in losses. And here they got it down to 13. So the road to recovery was right there. They looked like they were somehow managed to do their books right, which tells me they might have the ability to make their books right. I don't know. They need to go back to September of 2021 and look at the recipe book and figure out what their operating costs were that month and just get it back to exactly there. Whatever they did after that, they need to like reverse it immediately. They were right on the cusp of getting close, and they need just to break into the profit just a little bit at a minimum, and then they need to raise the prices too. This wasn't a price raise that fixed this, because it came right back down, and there was no boost in revenue. A price increase would have signified, you know, if they went up 20%, we would have seen more revenue as a result of it. 1.29 to 1.7. So yeah, they shaved off a little bit. But it looks like something happened in September of 2021. These people might possess some magic. They might possess some magic on their bookkeeping to be able to do some stuff along with raising the prices to get this thing profitable quick. Maybe they won't have to even raise their prices too much if they can get back to a reasonable September of 2021 formula. It seems like whatever they did that month was getting a whole lot more in the ballpark than what they did afterwards. Inflation and employment inflation could very well be this right here. This is where the inflation burst up. So maybe that's what we're witnessing. But the only inflation that we're not seeing burst up is the cost of the units. They should have started costing more. We should have seen an increase in the revenue just from the price increases. If they do have a 10-year contract and they are locked into the price, they need to walk in and say, look, you know, we're closing unless you guys want to pay more, to be honest with you. Well, we can stay open if you pay 70 per terminal instead of 50. But otherwise, it's, you know, we can't do this anymore. We're going to have to break our contract. You guys can, I guess, take us to court on it or whatever you want to do. I don't know. It's going to be in bankruptcy and the rest of it. or you can pay more for your terminals and save this company and keep us as a great vendor for you. Um, so yeah, it's going to be a kind of a mandatory speech, kind of like the one you go in there and give anyhow, because you got to go yank the terminals out because you're closing. So you might as well tell them the situation and say, if you're willing to do this, we'll keep the terminals in. They need to raise their prices, and they need to find some of this September magic and find a way to get those books looking awful like the same. Just go through them and say, this is our budget, end of story. Whoever we hired, whoever we gave raises to, we're going to have to cut back on some of them. Like immediately. He promised to chop the staff in half. I don't know how he did that. I guess maybe his plan is to offer these people less service for their stores. The other option is to give them what they're paying for. If you don't raise the prices on the units, the other operation is to give them 2 employees per chain and just swamp the 2 employees. I mean, if you got to pay them more, they deserve to work a little harder, I suppose. So you give them 2 employees, that's going to save $30 million every single year. And that is going to still make them unprofitable by $30-40 million. But if they can reproduce this magic and do it, it's going to make them a profitable company. So even keeping the prices the same, I'd venture they can just detract from their service. That would be option number 2, is actually get rid of half of everybody and say, you know what, you're going to get slow service since you're locked into a 10-year contract. You don't want to renegotiate, so we're going to go ahead and keep the prices the same for you. Try to renegotiate with everybody, but if it fails, maybe take a light landing and then just cut them back to 2 employees. And so that's all you got service in you. Everything's going to be a little bit slower, and you're just going to have to live with it because that's all you're willing to pay for. So we can play hardball too. So that's what they need to do. They need to take the people that are willing to pay more and continue to give them the same great service. Take the people that aren't willing to pay more. Go ahead and keep them on board and chop them down 2 employees. I think you'll see this thing get right side up pretty quick. But they're going to be making some moves. It's going to be this quarter. Even the $50 million that they got isn't going to go very far. It's not even going to sustain one more of these beatings. This last beating was for, $85 million. So the $50 million investor, I really don't know what he was thinking. I'm hoping that he required them to raise prices, and I'm hoping that he's requiring them to cut back on the employees per customer, maybe for the ones that aren't willing. I'm hoping there's a deal to fix this company that comes along with his investment. So I see a bright spot there, and I just wanted to share it with everybody. Thank you for watching the video. XELA Technologies, they put the terminals in the grocery stores. 4 out of the 5 of the biggest retail chains in the world use XELA Technologies. This is the name brand. This is the people they've kept for the last 5-7 years. This is the people they would like to keep in the future. They're trying to get their balance sheet right. And right now they're giving too much to each customer. I think they're giving the right amount, but if the customer doesn't want to pay more, the customer should just be automatically assigned 2 instead of 4. That means 2 cuts for everyone that won't play ball. And just keep all your customers, and they'll just get lesser service, which if they don't want to pay more, that's what they should probably expect. That's what I'm getting when I go out to eat. If the restaurant hasn't jacked up their prices and jacked up their payroll, then yeah, that's usually like, what do you want? And they're not exactly polite. I don't know if you noticed that at some of these places that are still paying people $12 an hour. You're the last person they want to see. You're a customer. But yeah, so XELA Technology is just an update, another option for turning this thing around. Thank you for watching the video. Have a wonderful day.